Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kamau. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Yeah, the red button on your left side. Click there and make sure to hit on all. See the bell icon at the end? Hit it and click on all so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at the Big Five. For those of you who don't know the Big Five, it's a phrase used in, let me say, Kenya to refer to five major animals that people come to Kenya to visit when they're in their safari. Without further ado, let's get straight to the video. So traditional African hunters who had been hunting animals for over 200 years were actually the first people to use the word Big Five. Okay, yeah, they were the first people to use the term Big Five. Now, why did they use the term Big Five? The term Big Five was not used by them to refer to like five big animals or maybe the size of the animals or anything. No, they were actually, the reason why they used the phrase Big Five, it meant the five animals that were the hardest and most difficult to hunt on foot. Okay, yeah, that is where the term the Big Five actually originates from. It simply meant the five animals that are the hardest to hunt on foot. Yeah, so if you didn't know where the word Big Five originated from, now you know. The first animal on the Big Five list is the lion. Lion, yeah. So the Swahili word for lion is Simba. So those of you who've watched The Lion King, I know you've come across that word, Simba. And yeah, that's the Swahili word for lion. Okay, yeah, I'll leave the spelling right here on the screen so you can actually pause and see how it's spelled, but the pronunciation is Simba, meaning lion in Swahili. So a few facts about the lion is the lions are actually Africa's biggest predators. Okay, yeah, when you talk about predators in the African continent, the lions top the chart. They are the biggest African predators, and they are also the second largest cats in the world. The first largest cat or biggest cat in the world, I have no idea which one it is. But if you know, you can leave it on the comment section. Yeah, leave it on the comment section. Let me know which is the biggest cat in the world. Big cat, that is. Because the second one, I just told you, it's the lion. So the second fact about the lions is that they live in prides. So a pride is basically a group of lions living together. Yeah, they live in pride and they're very social animals actually. So that's why they tend to live in a pride. And yeah, the lionesses, which are the female lions, they live in those prides. Like if she joins this pride, she lives in that pride for the rest of her life. And the female lions actually do all the hunting. You see how like in the human world, the men do the finding and they go out there, hunt and bring food home for the family to eat. It's the other way in the lion's kingdom. The female lions are actually the ones who go out there hunting. Moving on to the next fact about lions. Now you see how the lionesses or the female lions hunt. Well, they hunt and they take down the prey, but the male lions in the pride, which is the group of the lions, are the first to eat. Yeah, they must eat first before even the cubs. The cubs are the baby lions. Okay, yeah, they are the first to eat, then followed by the rest of the group or the rest of the pride. Moving on to the next fact about lions. Lions communicate by rubbing their heads together. Yeah, and also they communicate by roaring. You know what is roaring? I may not be pronouncing the word correctly because I'm Kenyan, so English is not my first language, obviously. Roaring is the sound that lions make. Yeah, so that is how they communicate. They can either roar or they rub their heads. Yeah, so if you want to see all this in live action, book your ticket, come to Kenya, man. Yeah, this is the land of the big five. You just book your ticket, come to Kenya, go into the forest, and you'll get to see exactly what I am telling you in this video. Moving on to the next fact about lions. So you remember how I told you that lions communicate through roaring? Yeah. So this next fact about lions is actually going to explain further as to how they can use roaring to communicate. The roar of a lion can actually be heard 8 kilometers away, which is basically like 5 miles roughly. Just in case in your country you guys use miles instead of kilometers. In Kenya we use kilometers, that's why I'm saying kilometers. But 8 kilometers is like 5 miles if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So you can imagine that. If a lion roars, the roar can be heard 5 miles away or 8 kilometers away. So that's how they communicate. Let's say a lion is lost and wants to find their pride, they can just roar. Even if it's 7 kilometers away, they will hear and respond, and the lion will know where they are. Moving on to the next fact about lions, or Simba. So the lions hunt mostly at night, okay, or when there is dark, because the lions have a very good sense of sight. Yeah, they have very good night vision, so they prefer to hunt when it's dark. Okay, not that dark, mostly it's usually in the sunset or during the sunrise. You see, when it's not completely dark but it's dark, they basically take advantage because they have good night vision, and their prey most of the times don't have that good night vision, so they might not tell when a lion is coming, they might not see it. That's why they take advantage of that. Isn't that cool? you know yeah, now let's move on to the next fact about lions. So the next fact about lions is that they sleep most of the time. Yeah, because lions can sleep up to approximately 20 hours in a day. And you see, 20 hours is actually a lot of time. Like, they only have like 4 hours left for that day, because a day is 24 hours, and if they sleep 20 hours, then they only have 4 hours left. So I guess during these 4 hours is when they hunt and eat. I don't know, I could be wrong, I don't know. Leave it on the comment section, you know? Yeah, or maybe lions sleep that much to, avoid paying taxes. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. But yeah, you can tell me in the comment section, okay? The next thing about lions is a pride of lions can actually consist of roughly 15 members, although prides that have up to like 40 members have existed. They've been known to exist. They've been documented, but mostly the most common pride like has only 15 members. So moving on to the last um, fact about lions that I could come up with is their mane, which is the hair around their neck. The color of that mane correlates with their age. Yeah. So you can approximate the age of a lion by just looking at the color of its mane. Okay? Yeah, so the only way you can know how to tell the age of a lion from its mane is by visiting Kenya. You just pick your ticket, just book your ticket, come to Kenya, book yourself a safari. They take you into the forest, they show you the lions, they show you the colors of their mane, and they tell you what age that lion is. And they will even tell you how to identify a lion's age or approximate his age with the use of its mane. So yeah, that's it for the lion. And please guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, share, comment down below, let me know what you like about my videos. as we move on to animal number 2. So moving on to animal number 2 is the leopard. So the leopard in Swahili is called chui. And the spelling is on the screen. It's called chui. Yeah. So moving on to fact number 1 about leopards. The leopards are very solitary animals or cats, and they are the least seen of the big five. Yeah, like being able to spot a leopard is actually luck. Yeah, leopards like being hidden all the time, you know? Yeah. Moving on to fact number 2 about leopards or chui. Leopards are very good climbers. They can climb trees very well. Yeah. And being predators, they like to drag their prey onto the trees. And leopards are very strong. Their size could be small, but they're very strong because they can actually drag animals 3 times their weight up a tree. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Yeah, they can literally just like pull a whole animal up their tree. So that, and the reason why they drag their prey on top of the trees is to protect them from other predators like lions or hyenas from snatching it away from them, you know. Moving on to the next fact about leopards. So leopards are actually very good swimmers, and they eat fish and crabs sometimes. So if you're in the forest and you find yourself getting chased by a leopard, do not do 2 things. Do not swim, because a leopard will swim faster than you can. Number 2, do not climb trees, because they are good climbers. So it's a lose situation for you. If you decide to go to the water, lose. If you decide to climb trees, you lose. Now, how do you run from leopards? I don't know. Somebody who knows how to evade leopards, leave it on the comment section below. Moving on to the next fact about leopards. So leopards, they do not roar like lions. So you would expect, because they are from the same family, they actually roar, but no. Leopards do not roar like lions. They actually purr. You see how like a domesticated cat purrs? P-U-R-R? That's what leopards do. Or they snarl. Or even bark sometimes. You know? Moving on to the last fact about leopards that I could come up with. Leopards are actually the most adaptable of the big cats, because they can actually thrive from in different environments. Yeah, leopards can thrive in very many environments. If you go to the desert, you will find a leopard. If you go to the snowy mountains, you will find a leopard. If you go to the forest, you will find a leopard. If you come to the grasslands of Kenya, of Africa, you will find a leopard. So they are the most adaptable of the big cats. So the next animal in the big five list is the rhino, which translates to kifaru in Swahili. So the first fact is the rhino is the most endangered of all the big five animals. Why is the rhino endangered? Because their horns are in big demand. Like the horn in front of their, just above their mouth there, you can see it on the image or on the photos on the screen. They are in high demand in Asia. That's why they are some of the most endangered animals, because they get hunted a lot. So if the horn falls off, or it breaks off, it can grow back again. But most of the times when poachers are hunting these animals, they really don't like just take the horn and leave. No, they kill the animal first, then take the horn and leave. Okay. Yeah, so moving on to the next fact about rhinos. This was actually fascinating to me, because I didn't know. I am Kenyan, we have rhinos everywhere here, but I had no idea. Did you know that rhinos actually don't have teeth and they eat with their lips? Yeah, sounds crazy, but I just found out when I was doing research for this video on the rhinos. They don't have teeth, they chew using their lips. Yeah, and just like that, we move on to the next fact about rhinos. So rhinos have very poor vision, like they don't see that well. Doesn't matter whether it's during the day or during the night, morning, evening, midday. Rhinos don't have very good eyesight. But to compensate for that, they have very good sense of smell and hearing. Okay? Yeah, and rhinos can be very rational because rhinos will actually even out of nowhere just attack inanimate objects. Just because the inanimate object is right in front of it, like the rhino was trying to go towards that direction and it comes across a tree. They just start attacking trees for no reason. Yeah. So when you're in the forest, do not be very close to a rhino. They can be dangerous. Okay? Yeah, moving on to the next fact about rhinos. The next fact is that very few rhinos survive outside of protected areas like game parks, game reserves, or zoos, or all that. Basically because of poaching, you know. Yeah, that's why rhinos they are very highly protected, especially here in Kenya. They protect them big time. Like they have like game wardens with guns following rhinos all the time because if they let them be like that in the wild, poachers will take advantage of that and the rhinos could go extinct. Yeah, so protect the rhinos and please do not poach. Stop poaching them. We need the future generations to come and get to witness the rhinos. Yeah, and moving on to the next one. So we actually have the white rhinos and the black rhinos. So in the white rhinos, we have the southern white rhinos and the northern white rhinos. Okay. So the northern white rhinos, only 3 were left in the world. Okay. I don't remember how many years ago that was. So there was 2 females and 1 male. So the male was called Sudan and the 2 females were called Najin and Fatu. Yeah, but some time back, unfortunately, the male died and the 2 females were left. So, as per the recording of this video, only 2 female white rhinos are left. That is the northern white rhinos, that is Najin and Fatu, and they're only located in Kenya. So basically, we can basically say that the northern white rhino is extinct because without the male, the 2 females cannot reproduce. So the only thing they have to do is just, relax, enjoy life, and wait for the day they die. And once the 2 female white rhinos are dead, that will be it. So the next animal is the elephant, the African elephant. In Swahili, it's called ndovu. The spelling is on the screen, just like the others. And moving on to the first fact about elephants or ndovus. So, did you know that actually the elephants are the most important for the survival of the West African forests? Now, the reason why they are the most important for the survival of the West African forest is because a third of the trees in the West African forests actually relies on elephants to disperse their seeds so that more and more trees like those ones can grow. That's why they are the most important species in the West African forests. And now moving on to the second fact about elephants. So also elephants can communicate from very long distances. They use low frequency sounds to communicate over long distances. So humans cannot hear these frequencies because they are too low. Okay, they are very low, so we cannot hear them, but the elephants can. Moving on to the next fact about elephants. So elephants throw dirt, sand, mud, and everything on their back to protect their skin from insects. Yeah, they have a tough skin, but they don't like the feeling of like insects walking on them, so they throw dirt sand and mud on their back so that the insects cannot like land on their skin. They don't like that feeling of insects walking on their skin. Moving on to the next fact about elephants. So elephant calves, which are elephant babies, are born nearly blind. So when they are born, they cannot see that clearly. So baby elephants or elephant calves actually suck on their trunk. The trunk is the big nose of the elephant. Yeah, they suck on their trunks to comfort themselves, just like human babies suck on their thumbs. Yeah, it's just the same scenario. Moving on to the next fact about elephants. So elephants are actually good swimmers, just like the leopards. Leopards are very good swimmers. Elephants are also good swimmers, very good swimmers, and they use their trunks as snorkels to breathe. Yeah, moving on to the last fact I could find about elephants that I thought was important for you guys to know. Yeah, but there is so much information I've left out about these animals. Maybe I can do a follow-up video going into details for each animal. Okay? Yeah, if you want that video, just let me know. I'll do it. I'll do my research. Then I'll do 5 different videos talking about each animal on each video. Okay? Yeah, moving on to the last fact about elephants. So elephants use their trunks to drink, to smell, to breathe, and also to pick up small stuff. And they can pick up small stuff like a grain of rice. Yeah, using their trunks. That's how cool elephants are. So that's it. That's all for the elephants. Moving on to the next animal, which is the buffalo, or in Swahili, it's called nyati. So the first fact about the buffalo is that their main predator is the lion. The lion is the only animal, I think, or is the only predator in Africa that can actually be able to take down an African buffalo. So moving on to the next fact. So buffaloes actually live in herds. You remember when I told you about the lions and the pride, like a group of lions is called a pride? So a group of buffaloes living together is called a herd. And African buffaloes are very protective of their herd members. And actually, they even kill lions in retaliation. Like if a lion is trying to hunt down a buffalo and the herd members spot the lion, they will kill the lion. Moving on to the next fact. So unlike the domesticated water buffaloes, mostly in Asia, the African buffaloes are considered to be very dangerous. Yeah, they are actually very dangerous, and they've never been known to be tamed. Like, I don't think anybody has ever tamed an African buffalo because they're very, very dangerous in nature. So you don't want to be going around or anywhere near the African buffalo. Moving on to the next fact about buffaloes. So the African buffaloes are often referred to as widowmaker or black death. So the reason why they are called the widowmaker or black death is because they kill approximately 200 people every year. Yeah, and most of them are usually male, especially the poachers. Yeah, so which makes them the animals in Africa that have killed more hunters than any other animal in the wild. Like in the African wild, they are the animals that have killed most hunters. Yeah, that's why they're called the widowmaker, because most of the time it's usually the men who go hunting or poaching these animals. Yeah, so if you go hunting and they hunt you before you hunt them, then you're dead. That's why it's called the widowmaker, because if you're a guy and it kills you and you had a wife, then your wife automatically becomes a widow. Yeah, the widow maker. So that's it for today's video. Those are the big 5 animals. If you've not watched this video, or if you've just joined in this video here because it's a premiere, make sure you go and watch from the beginning, because this video is going to give you so much knowledge about the big 5 animals and where you can find them. So yeah, remember to give this video a thumbs up or a like, share, comment down below. Let me know what you like about my videos. Let me know what other videos you would like to see me do. And if also you need a detailed video about the big 5 animals? Let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure to do it. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please be sure to do so. See you on the next one. Bye bye.